Hi guys, it's Leela Mullen from Be Inspired Horsemanship, and I want to welcome you guys to our second episode of Sundays with Sunday. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I think builds on our last episode, which was being a positive leader for your horse. So this week I wanted to talk a little bit about the concept of really asking the question when you go to work with your horse, what does my horse need? So a lot of times as horsemen or horsewomen or horse people in general, you know, sometimes we have training plans. Sometimes our time is limited with our horses and we kind of have an idea of what we want to do with them. Or maybe we have an idea of the goals we want to accomplish, we as the human. Sometimes as we don't have any plan or goal in mind, we just want to go and ride, but we want to ride for our enjoyment and our pleasure and our enjoyment of the horse. And while that is well and good, and you know, the horse is on our payroll, I completely agree that you pay for the horse, you house the horse, you home the horse, and you should be able to enjoy the horse that you have. I think that one thing that really gets overlooked and we need to continue to kind of focus and talk about is really to be a great horseman and have some really quality horsemanship. You have to really ask yourself, in the grand scheme of things, every time you handle your horse, what does my horse need today? What does he need from me? How can I be supportive of him? And that doesn't mean you have to forego your training plans every time you ask that question. It might be that you just need to take into consideration what he needs that day to help you accomplish your goal for training. So it may be that on any given day, you know, your horse, maybe he's a little more up, maybe he's a little stiff, maybe he is not as confident. Well, that doesn't mean that if you had a training plan or an idea of something you'd like to accomplish for the day that you have to forego that whole plan. It just means you need to have a conscious awareness of what your horse needs. And I like to call it being horse-centric. So humans are often self-centric. If you read a lot of psychology or self-help or improvement books, motivational speakers, they all discuss that one thing that leads to a lot of issues for people as far as negativity or kind of a lack of understanding. So today, it's very windy here, so we'll stop and address this. So Sunday is a little bit less dependable in the wind. And so what he needs today is just to be allowed to move his feet. As long as he's on an arc and he's not running me over, I'm okay if he needs to move his feet today while we're taping our few-minute segment. As you saw, he kind of faded off on an arc that direction. He heard some pigeon feet or some wind in the building behind him. I'm okay with that. If he needs to move his feet, I'm not going to force him to stay in one place until he explodes for the sake of making a completely perfect video to post tonight on the first try, because I hate to spend my time editing videos all the time. That's so I try to get everything in one swoop. So for instance, today was Sunday. You know, I just know he might need me to have an understanding that with the wind, you know, he might need to move his feet a little more than he maybe would have yesterday. And that I'm okay with, as long as he does it in a respectful way, in a way that keeps me safe and keeps him safe. And because we've established some of that in our previous training exercises and we've got that rapport a little bit better now, I trust that he'll be willing to do that for me. And he did. He just demonstrated, you know, he doesn't have to run over top of me. He doesn't have to bolt off across the arena and drag me out of the screen. And a couple of weeks ago, he would have reacted more like that. So basically, in a nutshell, you know, humans tend to be very self-centric. We tend to think about what makes us happy. I want to go ride my horse. I want to go to this horse show. I want to win a ribbon. I want to go trail ride with my friends. But to really be great with your horses, really have a good partnership, and really kind of move forward with this thing we like to call horsemanship, I think it's important to start to think in a horse-centric type way. And the best way to do that is just have in your mind that a simple question you can ask yourself every day is, what does my horse need from me today? What can I provide for them to help them be in a good place? And I was reading an article this week, and I'll kind of end with this, it was from Bill Durant's, and he was basically talking about, you know, that there's no magic, there's no special formula, there's no abracadabra wand to becoming really a great communicator and a great horseman with your horses. That really it boils down to 3 key points for you, the human, and those key characteristics and traits that we all should be striving to work more on developing are patience, observation, and humility. So for me, when I started thinking more about having some humility and trying to have even more patience with my horses, and then I combined that in about the last year and a half with really trying to tune up my observation skills with the horses and give that the time it needed to kind of develop and to really focus on that, I've seen a huge change in my horsemanship. So I would kind of challenge everyone to ask their horses, what do you need from me today? And then try to practice patience, observation, and humility as your horse tries to communicate his answer to you. So I'm Leela Mullen from Be Inspired Horsemanship. Thank you for joining us on our episode of Sundays with Sunday. We hope you guys have a great week. We hope we gave you guys some stuff to think about as you start your horsemanship journey. Have a good one, guys.